Welcome to Real 45 with Stefan and Greg Hancock. We vibe out and have real talk, so tune in and check this
Kind of
out.
press the start button.
I done that.
You did.
Again.
You did? Did you do it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did do it. I like that kind of thing where you're like holding the control button, the record button. That's the control button.
That's the only button. Oh, we have a stop button too.
That's right. But right now we're on the start button, so let's just start. I kind of like that. We just got to flow right into it.
Yeah.
And you people just join in the conversation with us.
I think that's cool.
Welcome to 45 with Stefan and Greg Hancock.
Yeah.
Out.
Hey, welcome to episode 35. 35 episodes
Is that
in
right?
a row. We haven't, I mean, that means 35 weeks
In a row.
in a row.
And 35 episodes in a row. So we didn't go to like 30. We didn't go to start at like 30 and then jump to 35 and then go
we have
back to
an
31.
X with Kalle.
Did we?
I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
that was number 10, right?
It was number
That's
10.
why we called it X.
Ah.
So that was number. That's why.
We were into iPhone releases. Or
Yeah, we were. Yeah, because that's what we do.
that's what we do.
We're Apple guys. All about the apple.
Yeah.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away,
That's true.
as they say.
Hey, I want to go straight to, because I have a question for you.
Okay, talk to me. Talk to me, fella. Throw
I
it
really-
at me. I'm ready. I can answer anything.
Are you sure? Are you ready for this?
Well, I don't know if you put it like that. I'm not sure.
It's really strange.
Okay.
And I want to be straight about this.
Okay.
I read an article in Speedway Star magazine.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Have you seen it?
I have a feeling I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe you can talk more about it, but this guy that they were interviewed in the magazine.
Do you get that magazine? Where did you see that article?
I have my sources.
Okay, all right, that's good.
That's
See,
true.
that's the cool thing. It's like yeah, I should never doubt you because you do have your sources. All right, that's your job.
Yeah, I get my stuff from everywhere, you know.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but this kid that were racing with you in Speedway Nation,
Right.
he was. I don't know if everything I read was true or if he just is a young guy that don't understand what he's saying, or is it true?
Well, there's people normally say there's 3 sides to every story. There's your side, there's my side, and then there's the truth.
That's true.
That's the third side. However, not that I really want to go into a digging situation, but it's a shame. I think, no, it's not true. It's not true at all from my perspective or my point of view, because it's everything that was written in that article. And I know the guy who wrote the article, so I know him quite well.
Oh.
While we're on the subject, believe it or not, yeah, I mean, I talked to him and I asked, is that everything that was truly said? Were you looking for a story? And well, actually, Josh helped me out with this one because he knows him too, and we just wanted to know the truth behind it. And he's like, oh no, I mean, I called for some quotes and I got a story, So, of course, he didn't. Nothing was manipulated or nothing was done wrong, but I think, honestly, I truly believe that the kid just maybe got lost in the situation. It was a hard time. We did the best we could, and sadly he ended up with quite a nasty crash in the last heat. I say his last heat, which was our last official heat in the meeting before we went to this extra race-off heat that I had to do by myself, only because he was injured.
Oh.
And he got hurt, but he ended up being okay. I think he's got some soft tissue damage or something now. But perhaps, I can't say I know the kid really, really well, but from what I understand and what I've seen and how I read him, from how he is as a person, and I think that he didn't think before he spoke, to be honest. And maybe that's a lack of experience, or maybe that's just the emotions are flying, and he pretty much painted a picture that we were Team USA, or me and the people, my mechanics and the management, and everybody was pretty hard on him. They weren't helpful, didn't do anything, and when I read the article, I'm like, oh my gosh, was I really that bad, or were my guys? All I ever saw was my guys trying to help out and Mountain Tires, and we offered what we could, and we had Luke there with us too, that was doing as much as he could with his arm in a sling. And I don't know, when I read that article, I start going, oh my goodness, did he really believe in that, or did maybe he had a bad day? But anyway, he really made us look like we screwed him over. So, which 100% we did not. But if he feels that way, then wow, boy, we are so far away from each other in that sense. And being what friendship we have is kind of made it questionable at that stage, And I hate that. I don't like to have enemies, me.
Yeah, that's the strange thing, because when I read the article, it's not how I knew you at all, or
now you know
your
the truth.
mechanics, or Luke. It's so far away from what I know. It just felt so strange.
Pretty far away from what I know about myself too, but that's what I mean. You always stand back and go like, whoa, did I say something in the heat of the moment? Or
maybe.
It's kind of weird, but when you get like that, I'm thinking, gosh darn, I don't think it was that case at all. I didn't think I lost my mind. I think we were all there, and I know we were all there helping each other and doing everything we could. But he felt differently at the moment, and now, since discussing it with him, says he never said any of that stuff, and his words were manipulated, and basically it was kind of a fake interview, so to speak, which a lot of stuff in there is, I don't know how fake it could actually be, but I'm sure that I hope he's looking back on it now and feeling differently. But if he still feels that way, then okay. However, my guys are not very impressed. The management's not very impressed.
No.
And even even poor Luke, who was there as our backup too, and couldn't ride himself, and reading that makes him feel, I shouldn't speak for him, but
no, but I can understand.
It brings up questions. So
it's a strange thing. Comes from, if I would have been in that situation, and as I know you, I should have just called you. Hey, Greg, I have a problem.
Yeah, or even that's a good thing. We're friends, and that's usually what friends do, right? If you're unhappy with something, you tend to bring it up. A real friend always does, right? You come, hey, I actually don't agree with what you just did or said, or how you reacted, or something like that. But in this case, it just worked out differently for some reason, and he could have even approached us if he felt that way during the race. Hey, I don't feel comfortable, but he couldn't do that because it wasn't happening. That wasn't true. We were all there coaching him and offering words of wisdom and advice. And I don't want to mention too many names, but even some high-ranked officials in the sport, in the federation, made some very, good advice, critical advice they offered to him from the practice session and before the meeting, and even came up and spoke to him themselves and gave him a few pieces of advice that might help him, because they cared and they want to see the USA succeed and go through and qualify. as well, you know. They don't want to see us struggle because of lack of experience. You don't have much time to do this. So they actually came up and just said, you know, we can see this or that, and, you know, you can, maybe if you just consider doing this a little bit like that, it'll make it better for everybody, you know, better for you, better for your team, and which is cool. That's the Speedway world, you know. They want to see every team. They're trying to help everybody. They want to see them all succeed, but deep down, there's only one winner in the end, you know.
Exactly, yeah. And if you get an advice, it's something you choose to try it out or go your own way. It's hard to be mad or disappointed in some way at someone that give you an advice.
It's up to you how you take it, right?
Yeah.
It's I don't think this is just in speedway racing or in whatever. I think this is probably life in general, right? And work and everything. It's if somebody comes and offers you advice and you're quick to respond with all the reasons why that won't work for you, or I did this or I did that, and, you know, normally I do this and normally I do that, whatever. It's like, it doesn't really bother me what you did or how you did it or why you did it. I'm just giving you a couple of pieces of advice that you can just breathe it in and take it with you, or you can just throw it out and not use it at all. I don't need to know why or where or how or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just experience. You share your knowledge.
Yeah.
This is how I did it. I mean, yeah. It was just hard to read it and understand it.
Same here. Same here. After I was put first at before I read it myself, before I received the article, it was forwarded to me by one of the guys in my crew, and with a message that followed it, which was kind of hit home right off the bat, as, you know, we help you. Not because you're an American, we help you because we like you, and we go to your events and support you and work with you and everything, even though we're from a different country. And it doesn't make us feel very appreciated. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you know, that's not what we're all about.
No.
And Americans in particular have always been so close and so together and so whatever. So, you know, when we're young and we make silly decisions sometimes, and we don't think before we speak, and trust me, I still do that, and I'm trying to learn the right way, and whether it's the right way or the wrong way. If you feel strongly about something, you got to speak your mind. If you really truly believe in it, by all means, right?
Absolutely. Maybe you talk to the person first, again.
Right. I guess
not to the media.
The media or social media, to go out there and it's kind of like people that go out on social media and tell their whole life story, and for everyone out there that maybe they've got some issues and things that they want to work out, and they share it with the world, and you're thinking like, oh my gosh. Kind of open your eyes sometimes.
It's this emoji, you know, the ape.
Yeah, with
the monkey with
the hands over the eyes. Yeah, right. No, this is not happening.
Shit, what did I just do?
Yeah. Dude, yeah.
What do you think we can learn from this?
You know, sometimes I guess the idea with Reel 45, the reel that we keep talking about, this is like recording, you know, everything I've done and in my career and life and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you want to stop the reel and just kind of rewind it and start again. And in something like that, I would feel like perhaps, you know, the quote was a wasted journey. And that's what I'm thinking, gosh, was it a wasted journey? Who had the wasted journey out of all that? Was it a wasted journey for him, or was it a wasted journey for all of us? So I would love to stop that wheel, rewind it, and go back to, 2 weeks ago and restart it.
Do it again.
Can we do that again? Can we try that take 2?
Yeah.
And try this again? But, this is life. You can't do that. It's not the movies.
No, but you can always go back and learn something from it. And don't do that again.
I learned something from it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I'll keep that to myself, but I learned something big from it. And I've always been there to try to help out and help the guys and do what I can. And I jumped back in to help out again this year, and it's biting me in the ass. So,
Yeah.
but you know,
That's
I'm an
life.
American through and through, and we always want to help the youngsters, and it's a lesson learned for all of us. You know, I'm pretty sure that he didn't mean what he said, and I hope not anyway, and I hope that he'll bounce back stronger and bigger and better as a person, and hold his head up high, and learn from it as much as I just learned from it too. And you know, I'm not the kind of guy to be a jerk and go tell the world, but I'm kind of telling him right now that you know, people, sometimes you should think before you speak. I really, really believe in that.
And I think that without knowing what it comes from or what he wanted to achieve with this thing, that's the thing that makes it's harder to get to be a winner if you have a mind that focus on what went wrong instead of doing what's good and what we can learn from it.
Oh, I can see what you mean there. Now you want to put...
I don't know. I mean, is it always someone else's fault?
Oh, you mean like becoming like a victim or something?
Yeah.
Like you're the victim of...
Oh yeah, exactly.
Well,
Instead of
there are people out there like that who are the victims or portray themselves as victims, right? In all aspects. But for me, that's you know, I always try to surround myself with good people and positive people and inspiring people, and the ones that can tend to pull you down, you tend to steer away from, and you got to get away. It's like the bad apple, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The bad apple that falls out of the tree it spreads, and you want to get away from that bad apple as quick as you can, and start sprouting again. So, but you know, again, I'm not here to make matters any more difficult. But I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, and I just felt that I need to. Something that I wanted to talk about. And
well, the whole idea of this podcast, right? Like you mentioned to me, you know, sometimes we need to vent, and I'm like, gosh, I don't want to talk about this, but now you know, you stumbled on me. We were going to have this podcast today. Was going to be different too. So
exactly,
yeah, we had something else in mind, and now you've.
And this is something that we talked about when we started the podcast. That I will bring up subjects that I don't know if you. We didn't talk about it before. It's like you don't know if what's coming up.
Right.
And you can say no or go for it. And I'm glad that you actually talked about it.
You almost stumped me there. You almost did. So I'm glad you brought it up because it's been floating around our house for a couple of days now. Not that we're letting that drag us down, but it's more, you know, that we've had a few people contact us about it and asking questions, and you're like, oh my gosh, how the heck, you know?
Yeah.
All right, we can fix this and hopefully help everybody to understand the real story behind it, and start moving on, because now we have to start building Team USA for the future, and it's only a pairs thing. We don't have that many kids coming through. Well, we have a lot of kids coming through. But you need to have an extra one in the lineup. You need to have somebody under 21. Right now we have Luke Becker. That's over here. Everybody knows about him, and he was originally going to be in the lineup with me before he got injured, and it didn't work out that way, unfortunately. But that's racing. Yeah. And in the future, we can see now you got to have 3 riders. You need to have one in reserve, because that ended up costing us a potential qualifying spot, but nobody knew that he was going to get hurt either. And for us to make the dollars and cents work out correctly with, like the Australians, you know, if they need to have another rider, we don't have that many riders to choose from, and to have your reserve rider in the team has to be under 21 years old. We only had Luke, and the other ones that are under 21 are still in the States, and to bring them over, the cost of bringing them over and then finding equipment and all that stuff.
Oh, too much.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. It worked out good because Luke was going to use my equipment. He's been riding with us for 2.5 months over here, or 3 months on my bikes. So it's worked out fine. So he's used to them, and he's got his new bikes now that he built up this week that are basically almost carbon copies of mine. So it was real easy. But you bring any other kid, and there's not many kids that can ride the same combination as we have. And I had a little bit more ease. I don't always just throw my bikes out there and let guys use them, because I've got races to do the following day and stuff too, and I don't have a fleet of bikes like I used to. I just have enough to do my job. So Luke and I were going to bounce in between the 3 bikes that we have and see if we could make it go, but it didn't work out this time, and next year will be another story.
Yeah.
We have a lot to build on, and mentally as well as mechanically.
But I need to ask you anyway, because Luke come up. How is his arm? Is it good?
He's just over. He's almost 3 weeks after his injury now, but he got back on the bike last weekend. We had our we call it Polish league match with Rzeszów on Sunday.
Yeah.
And they recently, last minute, just before the window opened, the window was open for riders to change clubs or move around a little bit. And in the 12th hour there, they basically made a contract offer for Luke, because we weren't sure if he was going to be able to ride, soon or not. But they offered him a contract just to ride for the club, and then said, "Do you want to race this weekend?" And he was like, 2 weeks after his shoulder dislocation, and he was asking me about it, and I said, "How do you feel?" He's like, "I don't know. I want to do it, but..." I said, "Well, if you feel strong enough, and you've been doing all your exercises and that, and seeing your physical therapist, and he got it taped up really good," and so he went for it, and he practiced on, was it Saturday? He had a few laps of practice or something, and then went straight into the race on Sunday. Hasn't been in an actual race for over a month, really.
Oh.
The race where he got hurt, he didn't even make the first corner before he crashed.
Oh, yeah.
So he hadn't really been in active competition for a long time. And he ended up scoring like 6 with a 1 bonus point in the race. And we had 1-5-1 together, where I won the heat and he was second, and he rode fantastic.
Cool.
So for me, it was like, wow, you get so emotional, and there it was, like, high fives and hugs, and man, you did it, the first time we raced together and we get a 5-1 together, it doesn't, in the first meeting. It doesn't always happen like that.
No, that was cool.
Yeah, super cool. And so we were really thankful to Stala Rzeszów for opening the door, offering him a contract, and giving him a shot right away. And we told him, don't put the expectations too high. He's coming right off an injury. And then he went out there and rode like a tiger, man, was hunting the guys down and rubbing elbows with a couple of guys on the other team. And he had a great day. So I think his shoulder injury, we can just put that in the past. It doesn't seem to have bothered him whatsoever.
You know what you should do? You should make your own, like a special prize for the year called 5-1. Where a more experienced rider take a younger guy under his arms or wings, or what do you say, and actually make a success in some way, or someone you want to...
Right, there's a clever idea.
Oh, cool thing.
It was a cool thing.
To encourage, like, the thing that you have, the mentorship, or...
That's a good idea.
I'm just coming up with things here.
I have to say, you're a natural. It just flows. It just comes off your tongue. How do you do that?
I don't know.
So
you said it. It was just a 5-1 the first game, and I think it's a nice thing that you have, and it's cool that you take him and he actually takes your advice and you do cool things. More people should do that.
I agree. Actually, I really agree. And even last year when myself and Rafael jumped into the 250 program, the World Championship, And we went in there and helped a couple of guys from the States and then Victor Lampard from Poland too. And we just being there at the event for a couple of days and being visual and helping the guys. Of course, I offered a little bit of advice to some of the other guys, and I did a training school with the whole group for 2 days, or actually 1 day, and then they had the semifinals and the finals. But a few more riders started to show up when it got to the finals and from different countries, and then it was like, this is kind of cool. It would not surprise me at all if at the World Championships this year, which is coming up in a few weeks' time, that there weren't more top names that would show up with riders as mentors or doing replica things to their own racing teams whatsoever. However, I will say the sad part this year is that the schedules completely clash with the Grand Prix. And there's the weekend of the House Grand Prix here, the 7th of July. On the 6th of July are the finals for the under 20. It's not the under 20, but the 250 World Championships in Torun, Poland.
Oh, no.
So it's the day before our event here. So it's impossible for us to be there.
Oh.
We're still helping the two American guys, myself and Rafael, with the Hancock High, and we can't be there with them physically. So we have other mechanics and everything set up for them anyway. But it's just a shame because it would have been great to actually be there and see if there were more riders that were involved. I still hope there are more riders that get involved this year, and if not this year, next year, and the next 10, 15, 20-year lifetime, that you start to see this thing grow a little bit, because the kids need heroes, they need dreams, and they need mentors.
Yeah.
And I'm with you on that. I like the 5-1 idea.
I hope it will come. It's just a simple thing to, I don't know how to say it, like get the light on him, or people that want to do it.
Probably true.
Because when, if you look at I have this guy that I have the company with, and he started a social community like Facebook for a couple of years ago, before we started Westard, and he had these things like stars you can get. You can earn stars if you had these kind of friends or what it was.
Uh-huh.
And one of the stars you could just get from Christopher.
Uh-huh.
And that was the most wanted one. You couldn't get it.
I remember you telling me about this now.
Yeah. And that's a really cool thing, because when you actually get it from the one that's lifted it or that wanted it, it's like more worth it than get money or
The Gold Star program.
the Gold Star program.
And that's something we learned from school, right?
Yeah. True.
I don't know if you do here in Sweden, but probably.
I heard about it. They do it somewhere. Yeah.
Definitely in the States, growing up at school, it was always like that. It's the star, gold stars. If you get a gold star, you done good. You did whatever it is. You were a good kid. You worked hard. You showed appreciation. You showed group workmanship or whatever you did. So, and it's nothing monetary. It's nothing more than a gold star. And to walk away, like the kids still walk away like, I got a gold star today.
Yeah.
So.
And now you get a 5-1. You can have like general.
Like a gold star.
Yeah, like a gold star.
5-point star, right? Stars
True.
have 5 points.
Yeah.
1 5-point star. 5 points.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me go. Look at you're just rubbing off on me now.
What happened?
God, this is good. This is good.
Anyway, you will see soon.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. Yeah. Shoot, man, maybe we should have to open a bottle of something now and celebrate the 5-1.
Yeah, we need to stop now.
Yeah, that's right, you guys. It was really nice talking to you all. And after the last week's episode, when we recorded with the Vouch class for slogan, I had a few comments about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one from. It actually was from one of my wife's girlfriends, our friends, I should say, in the States. A lady by the name of Danelle. She had wrote out that you guys are hilarious champagne or prosecco and hair color. Awesome. I just thought that was pretty funny. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe the cover page was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Drink champagne and the country life, drinking champagne and or prosecco, getting your hair colored out in the country. What a deal.
does it do?
Could be worse.
Everyday life, huh?
Yeah, that's right. We learn something new every day, good or bad. Usually it's good. Usually it's good.
Usually it's good.
Yeah.
It should
So-
come thing, yeah.
For sure. But, you know,
That's what it is.
that's what it is.
Maybe this is a short one.
We could keep going, but I think we should just cut it off.
Yeah.
Because maybe you guys just heard, but we've got Carl here in the studio, King Carl, and he just opened the door with the look on his face like, is there dinner soon, or?
Oh, you haven't eaten yet?
Either that or he had to take a pee. Probably had to take a pee.
Oh, probably.
Because I just saw him, when he closed the door, I saw him run off, so he was probably ready for us.
He's not here yet. Did he run away?
Yeah, he ran
Otherwise,
away.
he would be the one that actually ends this episode.
Well, if we talk long enough, he will.
He will.
Oh, nice talking to you.
Nice
Stefan.
talking to you. And make sure to follow us, comment us, and listen to us.
Oh, yeah, you just listen to us. We'll be the voice in the night.
Maybe soon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you
2
never know.
episodes, one for daylight.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I think we should start a love line.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be great? Like
how to slide.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, everybody, have a great night. We'll see you soon. Peace.
Welcome to Real 45 with Stefan and Greg Hancock. We vibe out and have real talk, so tune in and check this out. Yeah, today is a new day. Let's seize it now and get hyped. We talking about our careers, our family, and just life. Yeah, share my story with you. Inspiration like every day. Real 45, we gon' keep it live. I keep episodes on replay. Ayy, Real 45. Yeah, Real 45. Show 'em how we do it, man. Yeah.